The saddest part about an heartbreak is not the goodbyes. It is the realization that the future you once planned and hoped for with this person is no longer going to hold. It is the realization that you would have done anything within your powers to make sure this person succeed in life. It is the realization that you would have given your all to make sure you see yourself and your partner get to the dreams you had built together. There are so many parts people don't talk about. People feel that going through heartbreak is just as easy as they seem. You hear people tell you, put yourself together, get over it. But that's not the saddest part. The saddest part is waking up every morning, realizing that that text message is not going to come into your phone, realizing that all those times and moments you shared, the laughter, the dreams, the company you once had, is something you wholly have memories of. It is the fact that sometimes you find yourself in places where you see items that you feel triggered memories. Finding yourself in places that reminds you constantly of the good moments you once had with this person. But that's not the end of life. You're going to heal. You're going to be broken. It's the fact that you also have to pretend when you see people just so you could create an atmosphere where people will think you are doing just fine. Meanwhile, within you, you are broken. You are at the lowest of your moment where you try to smile. Sometimes you get to places where people are familiar with you. People know you to be a very happy and lively person. And people are very used to seeing both of you together. And questions start popping up. When people constantly have to check up on you and ask you, oh, how is he doing? Not knowing that for a couple of days or weeks or months, that dreams they think you are still nursing is no longer there. That person they so admire in your life is no longer there. Then reality sets in. It's not a bad thing for you to be broken. It's not a bad thing for you to experience pain. In fact, pain itself is part of the healing process. Pain itself is part of your growth, because what you allow to exist defines you. Pretending it never happened, pretending you are okay, you are fine, would only trigger much more emotional breakdown when you so realize that you cannot keep up with the pretense anymore. So sometimes it's just best you allow the pain come in. Grieve if you have to, but don't stay broken. Find some quiet time within yourself. Think about the moment. Relive the moment. Find time to look at the things you did right and the things you felt you would have done better. Because sometimes it's not just okay to grieve and lament over a broken relationship or an heartbreak. It is also the realization that there were things you could have done better. But since it did not happen, you also walk towards becoming a better version of yourself. Relying on things like feeling you would have done, or probably it was your fault. Be it your fault or not, the bottom line is the relationship is no longer there. How you handle yourself from this point goes a long way to tell what becomes of you. A lot of people get heartbroken and never come out of depression. You know why? Because they center themselves around regret, around pain. They reach out, they feel like, oh, at this point, if he doesn't get back to me, or if this person doesn't reconnect with me, I'm going to start making the move. And that's where they get it wrong. Because sometimes a broken relationship might not just be because of indifferences. It could also be because of a lot of disparities in both lives. It could be as a result of different backgrounds, different beliefs, different ideas. The fact that you're both chasing different goals could also lead to broken relationship. It is not okay for you to stay broken, but it is just the best if you take your time to heal, put up yourself together. Nobody's saying it's going to be perfect, and nobody's saying it's going to be it's going to be an easy road. But pulling yourself together and coming out stronger is what really defines you. Waking up and discovering that you don't have to lose yourself completely just because you're suffering an heartbreak is the actual strength. Because nobody would really be able to understand the pain you go through except yourself. Realizing that going through this pain and not allowing it break you completely is the strength in itself. Emotional maturity, social stability, and a lot of other things come into play. If you need time to seclude yourself from people in order to build yourself back up gradually, do not pretend everything is fine. Sometimes a lot of people go through heartbreak and they feel like, okay, if I, socialize a lot, maybe I would forget. At the end of the day, they realize that that didn't work, and they go back to that point where they start getting very depressed. And this would have been the first step, accepting the pain. But they chose to pick another route, probably thinking that doing that would also show their strength. There is no strength in recovering. Take your moment, build yourself together, and see how things transform for you, because that relationship should not define you. The strength to get up when you are broken and when you are down is what really defines you emotionally.